I've always tried to be a leader in any way I can. I always try to make them proud by thinking for myself and being a leader in the areas I can. This year, I even became the class president. Now, I think of myself as more than a leader. Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for having me here today. Everyone has been so nice to me. Everyone welcomed me with such open arms when I was here a few weeks ago. You truly have a special community here. I met many of you guys here a few weeks ago, but let me introduce myself formally here. My name is Shane, and I live in South Korea. Does anyone here know anything about South Korea? Do you know how many Jews there are in South Korea?
Two. That's right.
Good guess. There's me, my dad, and I don't know. There's probably more, but I've never seen them. It's practically a desert. I've never met another Jewish person there. The only Jewish people that I ever seen are the people here in Florida, and I can only see them when I visit. So, what am I doing here? Well, one day my dad came up to me and said, "Shane, do you want to have a bar mitzvah?" I said, "Okay," and we began having conversations about Judaism. What do you think Korean people think about Jewish people? Well, you might be surprised to learn that Korean people are actually interested in Jewish people. Korean people think about Jewish people a lot. If you go to the bookstore in Korea, you will see dozens of books about every Jewish topic. There are dozens of books about Jewish education, how Jews handle money, and the most popular books are on the Talmud and Chavrusa. In fact, almost everyone I know in Korea knows what the Talmud and Chavrusa are. But when I talk to people in America, I meet a lot of people who don't know what Chavrusa is. Does everybody here know? Well, it's a Jewish study method where people partner up with someone at their same level to study and debate the Talmud. My parents wrote a best-selling book on it. We have an academy that focuses on it too. But when my dad told about Chavrusa in America, they give him blank stares. Judaism is popular, very, very popular. So when I first began thinking about what it means to be Jewish, I thought about all the things that I heard my friends and teachers say throughout my life. Jewish people are rich, Jewish people have a high IQ, Jewish people are good with money, Jewish people are powerful, Jews study the Talmud and study with Chavrusa. Now, all of these things make me feel good. Who wouldn't want to be thought as rich, smart, and powerful? But none of these things make me feel especially good or even especially Jewish. So, what does it mean to be Jewish? As I talked to my dad, I began to realize there was so much more to being Jewish than the stereotypes everyone had. I realized that I belong to a long, rich history that goes back thousands of years. I began seeing that all of my way my dad raised me, he learned from his parents, and his parents learned it all from their parents, going back generation after generation. Just like the name of this synagogue, Vador Vador. I started thinking about my great-grandparents, who I had the honor of knowing before they passed. I remembered the way they would talk with me, the things they taught me, the way they played with me. I started to see that as Jewish, I started thinking about all the time I spent with my grandparents, the way my grandmother taught me to love everyone, the way my grandfather taught me to live a life with humor, the way my dad taught me to work hard and persist. These are all Jewish things. When my dad told me the story of the Jewish people, one thing really stood out to me. I realized that Jewish people have always tried to live as a light unto the world. This means that Jews have taken it upon themselves to live as an example of the values of justice, compassion, and tikkun olam. This has meant that Jewish people have been at the forefront of so many movements throughout history, and our drive to live as an example to the world is something that I have to take upon myself now. My action might not be able to fix all of the huge problems in the world, but I hope my living as an example of kindness will at least help some of my classmates as they struggle in school. It might help my teacher to have a better day. It might help my family to feel more loved and wanted. I don't know if these small things will be enough to change the world, but I hope they are at least a start. At my age, a good start could snowball into big changes. When I told this to the rabbi, he taught me a quote from Marguerite Mead. Marguerite Mead said, "Never doubt that a small group of dedicated, committed individuals can change the world. It is the only thing that ever has." This made me think, I can make a difference, that I can be a kind of leader that brings people together to change the world. I've always tried to be a leader in any way I can. I always try to make them proud by thinking for myself and being a leader in the areas I can. This year, I even became the class president. Now, I think of myself as more than a leader. I'm a Jewish leader. I am bringing the influence of Judaism to the corner of the world that I inhabit in Korea. I am bringing people together to change things at my school, to make the people around me have better lives. I can now see that when I get older and find bigger causes to fight for, that me and my friends can unite and become the dedicated and committed individuals that will change the world. I hope I can make my family proud. I hope I can make the rabbi proud. I hope all of my Jewish ancestors will be with me in spirit as I become a leader in my generation. So today, as I stand before you, I am not just a boy from South Korea having a bar mitzvah. I am a proud Jew, embracing my heritage, values, and responsibility to contribute positively to the world. This brings us to the Torah portion that I studied for today. When I first started reading it, it was a little bit confusing to me. It's like a long list of rules that I can't even begin to understand. It didn't seem relevant to me at all, but as I talked about it with my dad, and as we read things that other rabbis wrote about the Torah portion, I began to realize that there is so much truth hidden in unexpected parts of the Torah. There was one part of the Torah that really stood out to me. It's the first line. Re'eh anochi noten ifnichem hayom beracha u'klala. Behold, I set before you today a blessing and a curse. The blessing that you will heed the commandments of the Lord your God, which I command you today. And the curse, if you will not heed the commandments of the Lord your God, but turn away from the way I command you this day, to follow other gods, which you did not know. When I first read that, I thought that it meant that if you follow all the 613 laws of the Jewish people, good things will happen. And if I don't, bad things will happen. That confused me a little bit because I know so many of the commandments have nothing to do with me in my life. I know I can't sacrifice animals now. I know I don't even keep kosher. So I asked my dad, what does that mean? He explained that it isn't about keeping the exact laws. It's about living in the values that Jews have brought to the world. I know I have an internal moral compass that is influenced by my Jewish father and Korean mother. I know the difference between right and wrong. I can see in my own life what happens when I follow my moral compass. I can see when I do good things happen. When I do bad things happen. But I think the meaning of this is much deeper. God says, "Behold, I set before you today a blessing and a curse." I read that rabbis have read this not just behold, but see. See, I set before you a blessing and a curse. This means that the blessing and the curse are dependent on how you see. So, what determines if something's a blessing or a curse? How you see it, your perspective. I think about my own life. Sometimes bad things happen to me. Sometimes I have too much homework. Sometimes I fight with my friends or my parents. Sometimes I'm really tired, but I still have to do a bunch of stuff I really don't want to do. At the time, this can feel like a huge issue to me. It can feel like my whole world is falling apart because of some small things my friends said. So, what should I do? I need to get some perspective. I need to realize that while I might be feeling bad about this thing, when I look at it in perspective of how great my life is, these issues become small. Sometimes my family has problems. I can see my parents are stressed about something. I don't know exactly what it is, but I can see there might be some problem. By itself, this could give me tremendous stress. But if we look at it with some perspective, it changes. Whatever is going on in my life pales in comparison to some of the tragedies going on in the world today. There's war, famine, death, and chaos all over the world. Whatever my problems are, I can be happy with all the things I have. Since I read this, I tried changing my thinking on a lot of things. When I look at my life with perspective, I am happier. Me being happy makes the people around me happier. I really feel like I am living a life as a light unto the world. When I think like this, it feels like I am living up to my Jewish heritage. It makes me really feel like a Jew. I want to thank everybody for coming tonight. I want to give a special thanks to the Rabbi, Cantor, and Sharon, and my Hebrew teacher Elad, who helped me so much to get ready. And I want to thank my parents and grandparents who taught me so much, and everyone who's watching in Zoom or YouTube, and everyone who came here today. I really thank you. Thank you so much. Shabbat Shalom.